Hey YouTube, it's me, Andrea, here at Helping Hearts 888. If you're new here, thank you. If you've been here with me for the last 7 months along my journey, I would like to give a big thanks to you. And first and foremost, though, I would like to give a thank you to God. I am truly grateful for everything in my life right now. All the ups, all the downs, trials, tribulations, I would like to give thank you because it has allowed me to grow and be the person who I am today. And I give all thanks and praises to the Most High. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey and some things that I've experienced. I am a mother of 5. I had my first in 2010. And my first child was a natural birth. My second, I received the epidural, didn't need it, received an epidural. My third was a natural birth, completely, no medicine at all. My fourth was a C-section, and my fifth was a C-section. And I would like to talk a little bit about that today because now that I've experienced all, I know what I'm capable of doing. I know that I was capable of not having any of the medications or the C-sections, any of that. And I'm talking about this today because my friend right now went into the hospital perfectly healthy. She ended up having to have an emergency C-section like I did. And now she's on tubes and her health is going down. She didn't even get to hold her son. He was discharged. She's in the hospital. It's just crazy, but I would like to speak as a Black woman. And if that bothers you, then you don't have to watch this video. But I feel that we need to advocate for ourselves more and stop letting other people advocate for us just because they have a degree or any of that. We need to advocate for our own health because we know what we need. We know what's good for us. And before I knew any of these things, I relied on them to tell me, this or that. And now knowing what I know that I was given a C-section twice when I did not have to have one. They get paid a lot more money to do a C-section than they do when you have a natural birth. I also know now that laying down and having a baby on your back is not good. It's not good at all. I also know now that Pitocin, from my own experience, without doing my own research, it makes things worse for you and it puts your heart rate at stress and your baby's heart rate at stress, which makes them have to do a C-section. And with the lack of knowledge, we automatically do that. I also was told that after one C-section, you cannot have a natural birth. I wanted to have a home birth from my third baby on up, but I wasn't allowed to do that. And let me not say I wasn't allowed because I could have did it. But I chose to listen and be in fear. But they gave me Pitocin, which put my child's heart rate at risk. And then I had to get a C-section. I know now that after a C-section, the healing process is just way worse. It's way worse versus when I had my natural births. I was up and moving. And I'm not going to say that with my C-sections I wasn't up and moving because I went downstairs and everything. But I know my strength now. I know what I'm capable of doing. But if I was to ever have another child, I'm having a home birth because my body knows what to do. I noticed that when it's time to push, your body will just do that. And they'll tell you, no, wait. Your body is already doing everything because your body knows the steps. But when you are given a C-section, it's unnatural to the body. So everything has to kick in. And that's part of the reason why your milk doesn't come in yet too. Because that's unnatural. Your body has to realize, oh, that baby's came out, because the natural way is for your baby to go down that birth canal. That starts the trigger. Boom, birth, milk, this, that, and we have to do our own research. I'm going to talk a little bit about 2018, my daughter's Serenity, and I'm going to try to insert some pictures. I was given a CAT scan or whatever you call it, where they put you in the machine and, it goes around. But before I was given that, I had to sign a release form. They were injecting me with mercury. It made my body pretty cold, and I found out later that was no good. Serenity was due October 26th. I ended up having her July 28th. They didn't know why. They had no clue. I spent 3 months in the NICU with her. I watched her have to have her hair shaved with a needle put into her forehead for her IV. Her veins were too small. She died in my arms twice, and they had to bring her back. When I brought her home, she died in my arms, and I had to do CPR. And they teach you all this before you go home. They teach you how to handle it. But still, and so I panicked. I was actually feeding her, and I noticed my arms. It was very heavy. My arms, just her weight. She felt like a sack of potatoes. And I looked down, blue, nothing. And I panicked, and my aunt, no, you have to do this just in case it happens to you again and I'm not here. I quickly sprung into action what they taught me, and I brought her back, but I took her to the hospital. They gave her caffeine injections and things like that. But the not being able to even give her skin to skin after, because skin to skin is so important. It's so important for your baby to be able to just lay on you. It's so important. It's also so important for after your placenta, when you birth the placenta, for it not to be cut. So all that can go into the baby and let it fall off naturally. And okay, so back to Serenity. I was in the hospital with her for 3 months, and I will say, she is here. She's bigger than her sisters. She's healthy. She's doing very, very, very well. But it's just, it's really, really hard. Now, my son, Royal, which is my last right now, I had to have a C-section with him. I changed doctors 3 times because they wouldn't. I can't have a natural birth. You're not going to have a natural birth. It's dangerous. You can die. You can kill your baby. But something kept telling me, no. You can do it. You can do it. I went into the hospital with back pains and stomach pains. And no water broke or anything. She insisted on doing a cervix check. I know from experience now that when you're so far along and you get a cervix check and they push so far up there, it breaks your water. Well, after she checked my cervix twice, I noticed that I'm laying on my back and something was just trickling down. Now, sometimes, you might pee on yourself a little bit. It's just what happens. But I noticed this was different. So I'm like, when she comes back in the room, I'm telling her that, hey, something's leaking. Well, she's like, oh yeah, they told me that I needed to do a check to see if your water had broke. They knew my water had broke. And I know this because when she checked, my doctor was not there. She came back, my water had broke. My doctor comes in the room not too long after that. They had already called my doctor. They already had my doctor there. And she's like, well, we have to take him out because your water broke. Okay. When? Tomorrow? No, right now. They brought my fiance his clothing in there, had him get dressed, had me sign all the forms, took me back, prepped me, and I will say everything went good. Everything went good. But I know that she broke my water. I know she did. She broke my water. There's a lot of things with that, though. Just do your research. Just do your research. And I can't stress enough for you to stand up for yourself and advocate for yourself. If you don't feel something is right, do your research and don't be afraid to let a doctor go. To fire them, as I call it. Don't be afraid. If they don't want to do what you want or deliver your baby how you want, or in any sense, if it comes to a doctor, get another one. Get another opinion too. Don't just allow them to dictate and tell you what's best for you. Because I'm starting to notice more and more in our community that when we speak up and say that we don't feel right or something doesn't feel right in our body, it's not taken into consideration. It's not taken into consideration. And there is a lot of Black women who are dying after birth from not being listened to. And you can do your own research and Google this, or, do whatever you have to do. But look, there's a lot of us who are dying. One, from lack of knowledge. Two, because we don't know these things and we don't know the signs to look for. And we might not be as in tune with our body, because I am completely in sync with my body. I know when my cycle's coming. I know, the signs. I know what I'm feeling. I know when something's going on. I know when something's wrong. And even with breastfeeding, we are not taught that our boobs have like a sensor in it. I know that when I am out, if my son needs to be fed, I know, because my boobs do this little thing. It's this feeling. I can't describe it, but it's this feeling. And I know when he's crying. I know I can feel it. But these sensors in our boobs, they are what, if our baby's sick or our baby needs a vitamin or anything, those sensors send the signal to our body, and they give that nutrient that baby needs. My son has not been sick or anything. His sisters have been sick. We have been sick in this house, but he hasn't been sick. Now, I do not pump. I do not pump because the pump is not natural. If you don't like that either, you don't have to watch. But the pump is not natural. The body knows that pump is not the baby. The saliva from the baby goes back into your breast, and it sends that signal. The pump is not giving off any saliva. And also, morning milk gives different nutrients from nighttime milk. So when you're pumping that milk out and putting it in the bag, it's not the same. It's not the same. And it's so crazy because this birth, I have tried breastfeeding before and I've given up. But with my son, something has stuck. No. You have to breastfeed him. And it's so crazy because now there's milk shortages and all that. And I am so thankful. I'm so thankful to the Most High that message was given to me, and I did not stop. But I feel like more women need to know more things when it comes to our health and even breastfeeding and the benefits that it is for you and the baby. Even childbirth. Because when you are pregnant, the baby, the placenta, is healing. Anything that needs to be repaired in your body is being repaired during your pregnancy, which is 10 months. You're pregnant for 10 months, but it's healing. It's repairing things in your body that you don't even know. Ultrasounds. I have noticed that every time I've gotten ultrasounds, and with my son, they had me do so many. I have about 40 ultrasound photos. That is not natural. The babies run from that. They don't like that. You can tell because when they're doing it, the baby's trying to get away. My son would hide. And I really paid attention to it with him. But when I look back, they were hiding from that when they put that thing on there. They don't like that. They do not like that. That is penetrating through there. And it's I don't know the word, so I'm not going to give you the wrong information, but just do your research. That is not good. It's not good for the baby. It's really, really not good for the baby, and to constantly keep giving them. And I know that we want to know the baby's gender and we want to do all that stuff, but it is not good. It's really, really not good. It causes more harm than it does anything else. And your baby is communicating with you while your baby is in the womb. Your baby is communicating with you. I knew that I was having a boy without having an ultrasound. I knew. I knew what I was having with my children. It's just being in sync and being in tune with your body. But we have to start doing more research before we just allow someone to tell us these things and give us medication. Because when I went to the hospital, I knew I was experiencing, my sciatica nerve. I knew what it was. The doctor told me, well, it's because you've had so many babies and you've been around the block. That was what he said. You've been around the block. You're getting old, because I'm 36 years old. And he gave me a pain medication. And when I went to my doctor, no, you cannot take that. And I was wondering why you gave me a pain medicine while I was pregnant, But it was just the craziest thing because he was telling me that I didn't know what it was. But my doctor confirmed that it was my sciatica nerve. And she laid me on the bed. She taught my fiance how to do it too. She pushed a spot in my back. I was limping when I walked in her office, and I walked out of her office without him helping me, from her just pushing on my back and massaging and rubbing. And then she showed him how to help me at home. Now, in the beginning, my doctor's office had a midwife in there. I had to let them go because they wanted to do they tell you the gender now at like 10 weeks. And she wanted me to do the test at a certain point, and they told me when I went to do what she told me to do that it's too early to do that. You can't do that right now. And they had an altercation in the office right in front of me. And later on that day, she calls me, my midwife calls me, and she tells me, well, I just wanted to call you and let you know that I'm leaving here. My daughter lives in Texas, and she's deciding to, something with college, and she just was leaving. And I knew that wasn't what it was because I saw them arguing. And she left, and I loved her. So I let them go, and I have gotten a new doctor here. But I noticed here in Louisiana that midwives and doulas, hard to find. When I was in Alaska, I had a midwife, and when I tell you she was a blessing, they would have days where you come in and get the proper food, the fruits, vegetables, everything. You just come in and get it. They had a clothing closet. They had strollers. They had, if you wanted to do formula for your babies, they provided all that for you. And it was so comfortable. You could pick the scenery that you wanted for your birth. If you wanted like more of a beach and a serene thing, because I noticed that when I was in the bathtub during my contractions, it was amazing. It was amazing. Even breathing in lavender helped me with my contractions. It completely helped me with my contractions. But I'm saying all that to say that we just need to advocate more for our health. I don't want to make this video too long, but there's too many deaths happening. And we have to do something for ourselves, because no one else is going to do it for you. When I tell you that this means more, it just does. I was looking at the bill for my C-sections, and it's crazy. Almost $100,000. almost $100,000. I think a natural birth without anything, I think it might run about, 7,000, maybe 10. I don't know, but it's very, very low versus emergency C-section, Pitocin, epidural, spinal tap, all that. And another thing I will say is, from having the epidural, I have experienced lower back pain. And it has been there. It's the nagging feeling in the bottom of my back. And you do sign a paper for that. And it has been horrible. And it's just been there. Won't go away. But I do know from having a natural birth that we can do it. It's like anything in life. For me, it was like when you're going through something in life and you just feel like giving up. But if you just take one more step, it's over with. Because once that baby's head crowns and you push and the baby's head comes out, it's an instant relief. Tears of joy. And you forget all about that little bit of pain that you experienced. But that is all I wanted to say this morning. Peace and blessings sent to your family from mine. If you want to reach out to me, my email is helpinghearts888@gmail.com. My Cash App will be in the description box below. Thank you for the donations. I truly appreciate each and every one. But that is it this morning, and you guys have a great day.